Thank you for joining us. The North Dakota Supreme Court rejects the appeal of a Fargo man in the attack and murder of a 14-year-old girl. 24-year-old Arthur Colley argued his rights were violated during his trial last fall. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole. Colley was found guilty of murder, robbery, and aggravated assault in the 2021 death of Jupiter Paulson in the parking lot of Party City. Paulson was beaten, kicked, and strangled and stabbed multiple times. Colley claimed he did not remember the attack, saying he was suffering from a psychotic breakdown. He also argued there were unrecorded sidebar conversations between the judge and attorneys during his trial. A Moorhead man facing drug charges after police served a search warrant at his apartment. Police say they found more than 170 fentanyl pills, fentanyl paste, guns, ammunition, and over $1,900 in cash were seized. 37-year-old Patrick Nelson Lauderdale was arrested Wednesday in the 3700 block of 7th Street South. Nelson Lauderdale is in the Clay County Jail pending formal charges.
Central, shots fired, shots fired. We got 3 officers down, 3 officers down. Send everybody.
This is footage from Fargo police officer Zach Robinson's body cam of last month's shooting ambush in South Fargo.
Drop the gun! Drop the gun!
North Dakota Attorney General Drew Wrigley says the video is slightly edited, highlighting the surprise nature of the attack on police responding to a routine traffic crash.
It's 1 minute and 46 seconds, 1 minute, 46 seconds between the first barrage from Barakat's 223 to the neutralization of Barakat by Officer Robinson. Anybody who you've ever talked to who's been in a firefight of this kind will tell you 1 minute and 46 seconds is a lifetime.
After the shooting, investigators found numerous guns, 1,800 rounds of ammunition, a homemade grenade, and explosives in Barakat's vehicle. Wrigley says more footage will be released at a later date, which could show how Barakat entered the scene. According to Deputy Chief Joe Anderson, FPD's internal investigation did not find any use of force policy violations in any of Robinson's actions on July 14th. Hami Arain, KVRR Local News. A Red Lake woman has been sentenced to 5 years in prison, followed by 2 years of supervised release for her role in an arson conspiracy on the Red Lake Indian Reservation. According to court documents, 35-year-old Daylene Roberta Fajardo, 40-year-old Corey Leigh Stately, and 33-year-old Lori Anna Sayers committed arson to maliciously damage and destroy property through fire or explosive materials. 2 years ago, the three of them made Molotov cocktail devices, went to the Red Lake Reservation, and threw them at a Chevy Tahoe. The Tahoe was destroyed, and a nearby residence partially burned, forcing everyone, including children, there to evacuate. Fajardo pleaded guilty in March to 1 count of aiding and abetting arson. She was sentenced Monday. Stately and Sayers were sentenced to 5 and 3 months in prison, respectively. An early morning fire at the roof at the Prairie Public Broadcasting Building in downtown Fargo. Battalion Chief Dane Carley tells KFGO News someone in a neighboring building reported they could see flames on the roof on what appeared to be the American Federal Bank at around 1:30 a.m. Crews came to the scene to find the fire was actually atop the Prairie Public Building next door. Carley said it was clear some type of work had been done on the roof and a large air handling unit was on fire. He compared the fire size to that of a burning vehicle. Crews knocked it down using a ladder. There were water seeping through the roof into the upper section of the building and more smoke inside. Tarps were used to cover and protect equipment in parts of the building. The damage estimate by the fire department is at $40,000 and the cause under investigation. A warm afternoon with temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and 80s. Meteorologist Brian Barrett fills us in with our first forecast. Now, Brian, are we expecting an increase in temperatures tomorrow? Thank you, Brian. A Bismarck man died early this morning when he was hit by a semi as he was walking on I-94 just east of Valley City. The Highway Patrol says the semi was driving westbound on the highway near milepost 299. The semi was in the right lane, but the 35-year-old man was walking westbound in the middle of the right lane when he was hit at around 3 a.m. early this morning. The man was pronounced dead on scene as the NDHP investigates the crash. New details released in an unsolved mass shooting in Minneapolis. 4 survivors share how a night of inclusion quickly turned into a nightmare, and they're remembering the beloved musician who lost his life. Here's Alan Henry. It's not a usual tone during the 18th annual Chiefs and Sheriffs Burger Cook-Off, more than 2 weeks after Fargo police officer Jake Wallin was shot and killed on duty. But the cooks will tell you the camaraderie among law enforcement is what makes this year special.
It makes you feel good to live and work in this community. because of the support that we get from our community towards law enforcement. It's not like that everywhere, and we've spent several years trying to build that up. And when something like what happened over in Fargo, that tragic event over in Fargo, everybody comes out. Everybody comes out to show their support to us, and we can't thank them enough.
We got a great community behind us, and it shows on night to night, having the community come out in our cities. Just the support. You drive around Fargo, Moorhead, Dilworth, Glendon, West Fargo, you see the blue lights that everybody has at their houses and all that, and all the support is incredible. It's really amazing to live where we live.
Jaime Arain, KVRR Local News.